we are outside the Hotel Palazzo, just outside of New Delhi in India, ready for the adventure. That's the hotel there that we've been staying in. And there's the bikes over there. This is what we're going to be riding all the way down to Jaipur. All 5 of us. That there is the support vehicle for all the luggage and to pick us up when we fall off. So we're really looking forward to this. It's going to be 9 days. We're coming back here on the 19th after some wonderful experiences around Rajasthan. We're going into the desert. We're going to be seeing history and heritage. So keep watching and you'll be in for a fantastic surprise. So here we are in amongst the Delhi traffic. It's madness already. We're pulling in for fuel so that we know we've got enough. So there's the Ducati Scramblers there, look. All looking quite cool. So we're just filling up so that we've got enough fuel to get down to Jaipur. Dear me.
On this road, as we get out of the city, people just come down the wrong way, sometimes in the top lane and sometimes in the outside lane. You just have to not assume that everybody is going the same way.
Yeah, I've seen that they come, there's 2 lanes, but they go both ways on both. As long as I can follow somebody, I'll be okay.
And don't be afraid to honk at them.
Yeah.
Mentally, they're used to people honking at them. They're not used to you being polite.
Okay, where's the horn?
That's that button there.
Oh, okay.
Don't be afraid to use it. It's not impolite here.
It's impolite not to?
It's not impolite.
Oh, okay.
Go for it. Knock yourself out. No, because sometimes what happens is when we leave Bombay and we go north into another state called Gujarat, in Gujarat they're not used to people flashing them to pass. You have to honk. It's just safer for me to do what they expect me to do rather than try and teach them a new thing. Right?
Yeah. So that's, as you can see across there now, not the first set of traffic here, but the traffic that's going along the dual carriageway there, that's the main road from Delhi down to Jaipur. And that's the road that we're going to be going on. And I've just been informed that there may be lanes as we get further down, but traffic goes both ways on the left side or the right side. Yes, there are rules, but people don't really seem to follow them. They have their own rules. So that's interesting. Before we start, fuel here is around about 60 pence a litre, but it's all relative because the average wage over here is around about £6,000 to £8,000 a year. So everything's relative in what people can afford. You may be able to see the smog. Now today there's a weather warning, and tomorrow, for the air quality. And there are signs, we may even see one, that tell you what the air quality is. But there's dust in the air that's come up from Rajasthan, but there's also some burning going on. So you've got all the smog and the fog and the smoke coming from there as well. So let's get going again. I'm already sweating me nuts off. Looks quite good, doesn't it? All the bikes lined up there, look. And now we're really stuck in it. The thing that you've got to be careful of here is they don't tend to indicate to pull out. They literally just do pull out. So now we're going. There's a nice breeze coming through the suit, cooling me down. This is nuts. Absolutely bloody nuts. So a little bit of respite now. Now we're in a nice little traffic jam. Madness. Stuck right in the middle of this. You can just see the volume of traffic is unbelievable. And the way to drive or ride round here certainly seems to be just to push your way in. This is an adventure before we even get going. Well, there's the first bit of madness over and done with. Unbelievable. How come you get through so quick?
Do I?
You were faster than me.
He's the guy to follow.
Ah,
I mean, so he claims.
enough we go. Tally ho. So we're outside of Gogadon, however they pronounce it, which is south of New Delhi. And what my task is just to keep up with them. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. I'm pleased we're not here at any other time except December. During the day we're going to be experiencing mid 20 degrees centigrade. And on the bike with the suit on and the zips open, with my held suit, for some reason we've pulled over. And off we go again. And we'll get to cool down again now. Okay. apart from the indicating, it's pretty much like once you get out the main block of traffic, it's just like riding in Britain. On the motorways, you just got to have your eyes in the back of your head. So there's no problem there. It's just a shame with all the smog and the fog and the air quality that we can't see very far. But I'm told that once we get down to Jaipur, it's going to start to clear. In fact, it'll start to clear before we get there, which is okay. And then we'll start to see some scenery. One of the things I'm pleased about on this bike, it's a hell of a little bike, Ducati Scrambler. What a fantastic machine. It's smoother than I thought. The engine is extremely torquey. You pick up and you've gone, but there's no screen. And over here, that's an absolute godsend because you're getting the full blast of the cool air going through your suit. So there's looked like an old bridge that we've just crossed on the new one. One of the things I am starting to notice, I don't have my neck warmer on, for want of a better phrase, and the dust in the air is now sandblasting my neck. We're going to be stopping shortly, I hope, and then I can get it on and stop that getting any worse. Didn't even cross my mind that would happen. Nice looking machine, isn't it? Gorgeous machine. Hell of an engine. And what a great colour in yellow. Looks good, doesn't it? Looks bloody good, in fact. And these are the bikes that you can be coming on to join MotoZeal on one of their tours. So here we are getting ready again, ready to head off into the wild blue yonder, or the wild dusty yonder. The bikes are holding out, everybody's ready to rock and roll. And we're off again. Get a little bit of wind in the sails. That was awfully decent of the cow to use the zebra crossing. God knows where we're going now. Hey up, what's this?
Charge extra because zeros are here.
What's that? What's that?
It's a separate price for foreigners. You need to discriminate.
So there's a different price for foreigners. I'll keep my helmet on and my gloves for a bit.
Yeah, you do look Indian if you keep your helmet.
Absolutely. That better? No. Still ugly.
You're lovely.
Well, we're at our first stopover, and I guess you'll want to see the room. They're classed as tents, but let me show you inside the room. So coming in, this is the room that we're stopping in. Above there you've got the air conditioning. Going through to the bathroom area. And there's me. Hello, this is me. There's the sunken bath. There's the unsunken shower. There's the locked safe that we can't use. There's my bed. There's a settee. There's a telly. And there's bottled water, which I will be quaffing later. But the complex itself is very spacious. This is what we've got. You can see the individual ones. And the barren, dried up surroundings on the top there, look. And this little oasis in the middle. Let me give you a little bit more of a walk round. I hope as we're walking on the grass, the snakes don't like the grass, but we'll soon find out if there's snakes and scorpions and leopards and tigers. But this was an old fort, or is, not was, it is an old fort. And as we come further round, there's the outskirts, there's the wall, look. And you can see it going up. A little bit like the wall of China, there's steps next to it so you can walk amongst it. We'll go a bit further round. It's absolutely bloody roasted. Well, for me it is. 25, 26 degrees, that's warm enough for anybody. So, this will give us a better look at what the complex is like. You can see it behind me there. Individual units, double rooms. The hill just to the side there, look. Beautiful place. And as I say, it's an old fort. So this is our first overnight stop. There is a swimming pool, and the last one into the swimming pool is a sissy. That's if it's got any water in. So that's it. That's the complex. So far, we're just about to have some lunch, and then they've said we're going to go and ride some trails. I hope that's not the royal way, because I'm knackered. Now that's it for now. Here we are, partway through day 3. BB, the owner of Motorzeal Motorbike Tours, has taken the camera because unfortunately I'm feeling a little bit unwell. So we're heading now down to Manwar Camp, which is a desert camp in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And towards the end of this video, boy oh boy are you in for a lovely surprise. Anyway, we set off just after having lunch to continue our journey. But out of the corner of our eye, we catch a glimpse of an oasis in the middle of the desert. And boys being boys, we went off-road to discover just what this oasis had to offer. Right, we're out in the sticks in Rajasthan. We left Bikaner, we're on the way to Manvar, which is where the tented area is going to be. Yet again, here I am without gear. Saw a doctor last night, everything's okay. We've just had lunch. I've put a camera on the tour owner, which is BB. And we're going to go now and watch the bikes, which are over here. So, the area that we're in currently, you can see behind me, it's very arid, it's very flat. And occasionally you'll come across an oasis. Cue the oasis. Absolutely in the middle of nowhere. But there's dunes as well. So we're going to go over there and have a little look at what they're doing. Come on. You'll hear in the background some of the nana. It's a national pastime here in Rajasthan, in fact in the whole of India from what I can see so far, where the louder the horn, the more they want you to get out of the way. But we're going to go now and have a look at this oasis of amazingness, where the guys have parked up ready for another bit of a photo shoot. I'm beginning to realise they're a bunch of posers. But nice a bunch of guys you wouldn't want to meet. We're going to go across there and do a little bit of selfie stick filming. And so far, for the last 3 days, everything is to blame on the white man. And I am the white man. But this is what you're going to experience when you come over here. Is you find something, you stop, you just have a bit of a relax. So keep watching. You never know what you're going to see. Having had our fun, we're now going to continue our quest down to Manvar Desert Camp. And off we go. One of the things that you're going to come across every now and again on this tour is the tarmac just comes to an end. There is no warning, there are no signs, you tootle along on the tarmac and it just disappears. And all of a sudden you've got this rough terrain, which I've got to say started to make me giggle as we continued on this tour all the way around. But be careful of the big trucks. The big trucks do not care. They will just keep ploughing on. Overtake where you can and give it a blast. Something you can see on the left there? The sacred cow. They can go where they want, when they want, for as long as they want, with whoever they want. Nobody stops them doing anything. They're walking into the road. They'll jump out of the bush on the side of the road. Just beware, okay?
क्या करना है?
Dunes are not fenced. We have another 20 kilometers to go, but I don't see any fences behind.
So what do you want to do?
Let's go right, see if we can get on a dune and then smoke a cigarette and come back.
These are not dunes.
Those are dunes, huh?
अबे ये कितना कचरा है? कोई खाली ड्यून नहीं है?
So having had our little chat, we decide that we're going to be heading towards some new dunes. And that's exactly where we're going to be going now. One of the things to watch out for as we go up this track, the sand, it's not sand as we know it, it's talcum powder. There is no traction. The only traction you will get is from the rubble underneath the talcum powder. But it provides great fun. Just look at that talcum powder now. The bikes are fantastic, they'll cope with anything. But when you do this, please remember, a little bit of a tip, do not touch your front brake, because your brake will lock the front wheel and it will just disappear from you. That adds a certain bit of adventure as well. But when you get to the top of here, the view is spellbinding. And you may be able to take a photograph like this.
It's going to be tough. Take out the bike. It's going to be tough. Take out the bike.
Yeah, it will be very tough to go. That's why I parked it here. No? The minute I had momentum, I turned it and parked it here so I can roll down. It's a matter of pushing and then a little momentum carries down to the bottom. You brought the RS up to there to take a picture.
Say hi.
The trail and stuff. I don't know, देखो क्या है, मैंने कुछ देखा है, देखो में क्या है.
And then we just continue our quest, having had a little bit of a rest and a play in the dunes, down to Manwar camp. Manwar Resort and Camp. Look, that's the name of it there, look. Manwar Resort and Camp. We've been on the road a little bit today. We were going to do some filming a little bit, in fact we did a little bit, in the dunes, but the sand, it's like talcum powder, and two of the bikes got stuck, so we decided not to bother anymore with that, because lifting one of these Ducati Scramblers out of a rut is a task in itself. But the Jeeps are here behind me, look, these are the Jeeps we're going to be going up in. It's all exciting stuff, isn't it? Right, here we go. We're in the Jeep, we're in the back. The guys are going to follow us and we're heading off now to the tented camp. He's one of the guys, woohoo! There's another one.
Hey.
They've been telling me I'm the white man that ruined everything.
Yes.
And I'm going to get my own back one day. And we're off! Desert behind us, wind in our hair. Freezing. Red hot. now heading out in towards the camp, but let me show you a sight already. There's the setting sun, and I've got a funny feeling that's going to get even redder. But you can see now we're heading out into the camp. Isn't that a wonderful sight over there? The land of the setting sun. And there's the guys who were thinking they're posing, absolutely covered in dust. So we can now start to see the camp coming into view. Manwar Desert Camp, in between Bikaner and Jodhpur. So behind me, this is my tent. Shall we go and have a look, boys and girls? And there we have inside our tent. Cool, isn't it? You've seen it in the films, and now you can see it in real life. Just look at it all behind me, all laid out. Isn't it fantastic? Okay, so we're here at the start of day 4. Sunday, having just been in the Manwar camp overnight, where everybody seems to be suffering from the cold, but being British, of course, we don't suffer the cold. Stay in our t-shirt, budgie smugglers and flip-flops. But we're heading off today to Jodhpur, just getting the stuff ready into the jeeps, but this is where we've stayed. You can see everything behind me. Beautiful blue skies, and here we are on the 12th, 13th of December. Glorious sunshine, and I'm looking forward to today, some more adventures. As you can see, I'm still in my polo shirt, not riding again today. After 36, 48 hours of the screaming abdabs, I'm feeling a little bit weaker today, so build up the strength today, ready for the next 5 days on the bike. So keep following, keep watching, and look out for even more adventures of India. at the start of day 4. Sunday, having just been in the Manvar camp overnight, where everybody seems to be suffering from the cold, but being British, of course, we don't suffer the cold. Stay in our t-shirt, budgie smuggers and flip-flops. But we're heading off today to Jodhpur, just getting the stuff ready into the jeeps, but this is where we've stayed. You can see everything behind me. Beautiful blue skies, and here we are on the 12th, 13th of December. Glorious sunshine, and I'm looking forward to today, some more adventures. As you can see, I'm still in my polo shirt, not riding again today. After 36, 48 hours of the screaming abdabs, I'm feeling a little bit weaker today, so build up the strength today, ready for the next 5 days on the bike. So keep following, keep watching, and look out for even more adventures of India. And off we set away on day 4. BB has the camera on his helmet again, so that we can capture the day's activities. We're heading on our way down to Jodhpur from Manvar Desert Camp. It's a straightforward ride, but as we continue on, we're in for a bit of an activity which we weren't expecting. But also, the accommodation when we get to the end of the day will simply blow your mind. And prior to getting there, the traffic through Jodhpur, well, let's just say it was an interesting experience. One of the things you're just about to see are the sacred cows can go wherever they want, crossing the road, and there's some on the left waiting to cross. And then all of a sudden in front of us, a pickup just pulls out. You've got to be aware of it, honestly. Yeah, you've got to be aware of it because it happens. And it's the way they ride over there and drive over there. But once you get used to it, it's tremendous fun. See, these roads give you an amazing opportunity just to do whatever you want. But we come into a village, you can see on the left and the right a huge amount of marble laid both sides. You see, an area of Rajasthan is second in the world for the production of marble and granite. And the amount that we see later on in this tour simply blew my mind so much. We pulled across so you could see how they manufacture the stuff from the rocks out of the ground. We can just see slightly in front of us one of the guys has pulled across. So, rather than we were doing Top Gear, we leave you behind, we pull over to make sure everything's okay. But unfortunately on this occasion, it wasn't. Parakram had got a flat. And we discovered the hole in the tyre where the nail popped in, and the nail popped out again. Now over here, we don't have any AA, RAC or green flag to call. You've got to make the best of a bad job. And what you are about to witness was simply stunning. It's called over there Jugaad. And Jugaad means you make the best of what you've got. You manufacture something to make it work. There are no shops to go and get your spanners and your screwdrivers. You've got to make sure that you can cope with all eventualities that may face you. And there's me, just checking to make sure the camera's working. So Parakram and Vijay push the bike back up to the local village that we've just been through to see if we can get the tyre repaired. And yes, we can. So we've got a flat. The nail went in, the nail came out, and we're now going to see if we can get it repaired. This is where we are, on the roadside, on our way to Jodhpur. So this is the fix at the roadside, shoving as many rubber bungs in as we can to try and get the tyre to hold some air. The challenge we're now having is putting the air connection onto the the valve should pull, it shouldn't split. It's going up, it is going up. Look at the crowd that's been attracted to the bikes, seeing what's going on. It's probably the highlight of the day. Tyre fixed, off we go. And as you've just seen, the bike rumbled across. One of the things that you also have to be careful of are these speed humps that appear in the road from the middle of nowhere, from out of nowhere at all. There's no warning signs, there's no nothing. And in fact, throughout the tour, we did hit them. Sometimes it woke you up, shall we say. Shortly, we're about to experience another set, and it's not just one speed hump, there's 5 or 6 in a line. Another set. Just a little bit further down the road, we found a garage, and a decision was taken to make sure all the tyre pressures were in fact correct on the bikes. Having done that, we crack on again. We came to a T-junction where we all pulled in, just for a bit of a rest and also to check our bearings. And then all of a sudden, all the local kids came to find us. Just happy people. They're just tremendously happy people. Eventually we end our journey at Jodhpur, and here's another traffic experience of a lifetime. At this point, I'm actually in the car just in front of the 2 bikes ahead, trying to find the accommodation that we are going to. And seeing these streets and seeing this traffic, I could not believe we were going the right way. But what you are about to see very soon was simply It's mind-boggling. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Then, out the middle of nowhere, in the middle of all this hustle and bustle, we find our accommodation. And everything became calm. How could something like this be in the middle of such a city? I just couldn't comprehend this. You've been through the streets with me, you've seen the traffic, and then all of a sudden, this made the trip for me, these places we stayed at. They were simply stunning. Just wait till you see where we are. As we walk through the grounds of the accommodation, right in front of us, there's the fort. Just look at that. And we're going up there very soon.
Welcome the king.
And if you didn't understand what he said there, he said, "Welcome to the king." I think I became known as King Kevin Lear Singh the First of Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And then we went up to the fort. It was one of the greatest experiences of my lifetime. Just look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The wall that goes round the fort was 10 kilometers long.
That time Jodhpur, it was a small city, but now it is big.
We are now right on the top of the palace, and everything you see below us is Jodhpur. Everything you see in front of us is living accommodation from Jodhpur. The fourth night, this is my room. This is the bathroom. And that's me. How cool is that? Look at the view from my room. We are ready to rock and roll on day 5. We've just been staying in a fantastic area, and we're just about to go to another fantastic area. Here we are on day 5, and as you can see, I'm back on their bike, fully recovered, feeling fit as a fiddle. So we're heading now from Jodhpur down to Kumbhal Garh, which is accommodation in the mountains or the forest. But first of all, what we have to do is to get through the traffic of Jodhpur. And for those of you who watched day 4, you'll know exactly what to expect. For those of you who didn't, well, you're in for a shock. But we were also in for a shock when one of the guys nearly got knocked off his bike. We're now riding through the back streets of Jodhpur, and you're going to see just how bad they are. There's the fort up there, look. How cool is that? We were up there yesterday. And down the back streets. And then down here, in fact, there's quite a few guest houses. But I heard yesterday that mostly for backpackers, 20 rupees a night, which is £2 a night. Cheap as the proverbial chips. See how mad it is? People coming both sides. The only thing we haven't seen this morning yet is the sacred cow. It's madness. Yeah, there's a horse just coming across the road there. Hey, I'm coming and I don't give a shit. And this is where we were last night. This is the market we were walking around last night, where you could get everything basically from a jumbo jet to a kebab. What a day for a daydream. What a day for a daydream, boy. And I'm lost in a daydream, dreaming about my bundle of joy. So we're now on the main highway that we're heading down for about 90 kilometers. So nothing too drastic, just a nice smooth straight road heading to our next destination, where we're going to be going into an old abbey where the amount of pillars that have been built inside, apparently you can't even count. There's that many. And there's one that many people have tried to complete that's never been completed, for reasons which I hope to find out. Welcome to Motorbike Adventures of India. Ding 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 ding. After we'd been through Jodhpur, we decided we would pull in at the side of the road, just to get our bearings, to find out exactly where we were, and also to make sure everybody knew where we were heading. Parakram just in front of me there, however, fancied himself as a little bit of a Robert De Niro.
Talking to me?
Hmm?
Talking to me?
You talking to me?
Talking to me?
Loving it. When I'm on the bike, I'm smiling.
Yeah.
All day. I don't care whether it's snowing, raining, sunny.
I like nice positive guy. I like that. You should something like that.
Yeah? Yeah. So we've gone down the back roads now, and we're into a totally different environment again. Back into a small little village. A small village. And this is their way of life. It's totally different to anything you could possibly expect to see in Britain. Absolutely, totally. But to them, it's natural. To us, it's an absolute shock. And that's what you're going to experience on this tour. You're going to see these environments. You're going to become part of the community. You're going to see the culture, the heritage, the total and utter barrenness of it all. Soak it in. Soak it right in. And there's one of the bikes you're going to be riding. How cool does that look? I mean, come on. That's just mint. I'm back into another little village now, where the roads changed to rough lumps of concrete. Do you know something? When you go through these villages, I have yet to see a depressed Indian. They just smile. They're happy with what they've got. They're content, or at least they appear to be. The Western world needs to take a leaf out of the book of these people, how they live, from their culture. be happy with what you have. Just be happy with. Don't get depressed because you haven't got the best TV, the best car, the best bike, the best pair of frickin' shoes. Be grateful for the fact that you've got food on your table, a roof over your head, a decent bed to sleep in. I mean, what else really is there? On our travels, as you've seen, we do come across the occasional village. Now, this village was at a junction where we were going to turn to go down to the temple. But we weren't quite sure. So we pulled in, parked up the bikes, and attracted the crowd that Sunderland Football Club would have been proud of.
We'll wait here for. It's about. The temple is about 30 kilometers from here.
Okay. We're just going to wait for everybody else, eh? Do you see what I mean? There's more people there than turn out to watch Sunderland on a Saturday. Or Hartlepool United for that matter. Anyhow, we got cracked on. Santosh, up that way. So we stopped in the little village there just to see where we were going, let everybody catch up, and we were surrounded. All admiring the bikes. And let's be right, why not? So we've come on to the outskirts of the village again on the back roads. More of an adventure. So we're really on the back roads now. You can see the sides, they're not even finished. But the challenge that you face here is the bushes are close to the road. So you're going to get things coming from the inside, from the bushes, which could be cows, dogs, but also there's buses that use this road a lot, and so they're going to come right down the middle of the road towards you. We've just got to be careful about them. Such as in front, coming up now, there is your sacred cow. And we're now in a bit of a race. In front there's Santosh, and on the left is where the guys have come from the village, and they're determined to beat us. Some things never change no matter where you are in the world, do they? We then arrived at the entrance to the temple. And what you are just about to see, well, what I was just about to see, blew my mind. An amazing place, and all the marble interlocked like Lego. Not one bit of concrete holding it together. And we've now just pulled in to the temple. that we're going to go and have a look around. It is tourist and visitor timings 12 noon till 5, and we're around about 3 o'clock. We're now at a temple. One of the things that we've had to do prior to walking towards the temple is take our boots off. Some of the guys have also taken the socks off. But just wait until you see what we're going to see. Look at that. Doesn't that just look spectacular? This is a religious temple that we've just come across. We've had to take off our boots for when we walk inside, but you can't get a much more striking image than that, can you? Behind the blue sky. Inside the temple now, and this is what you're going to see as you walk in. Are you ready to see this? Look at that for a ceiling. Look at the monkeys on the side there, look. Look at the monkeys. Hey, hey! We're now climbing up into the mountains, heading that way. As you can see in front there, look. We're now in a different environment altogether. This is the green zone, I guess you could call it. So from the sandy zone to the green zone. Now this mountain road is like this all the way. It's narrow and very sharp drop off either side, so that's why we're just being very careful, because you've seen some of the traffic coming the other way, and what you don't want to do is meet a truck or a bus, because they'll just keep coming. See what I mean? The bus, whoa, whoa, not. Monkeys on the side there, look. Does your monkey bite? No, my monkey does not bite. I thought you said your monkey does not bite. Well, that's not my monkey. through another little village. All these villages are fantastic, aren't they? If only we had time to stop and explore and delve into their culture and way of life.
We then arrived at Kumbhalgarh, the accommodation that, well, no words can actually describe. Middle of nowhere, fantastic place. Now, it's not often my eye gets caught, but what we would trek to on the evening not only took my breath away, but made me take home a little bit of India in my heart.
Not a very good day today. There's clouds in the sky. I didn't think I was going to see a cloud until I got back. So we're on day 6. We're just setting off. Everybody's getting on the bike, starting them up, rocking and rolling. And just in the distance, I don't know if you can see it on the lens, but we're heading up to a fort. And right in the middle distance is the entrance to that fort. In fact, we were there last night. And we're off. The wonderful, wonderful visit of us. Diddle 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 dee. And there's the first gate into the fort. Woo! Look at that beauty. Can you see? Look at that! Look, 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 look! Are you ready to rock? There it is! Look at that. Oh, come on, man. Bring it on. And you can see the ramparts all the way across there, look. That's just mint. And so we go through the arched window.
Kumbhalgarh Fort is within the western region of Rajasthan, which is where we're touring around. The walls of the fort, believe it or not, are 22 miles around, making it the second longest wall in the world. And from the top of the temple, you can see for miles and miles around right into the desert. The frontal walls are actually 15 feet thick.
Look at that for a view, you bagger. Look at that, man! Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Look at this scenery that we're riding through, guys. Just look at the views, man. It takes some beating, doesn't it? In the middle of December, riding around here with not a care in the world. Nothing matters except the enjoyment of riding the bike and being with a group of amazing guys. There's the ruggedness for you, eh? You don't want to meet that on a dark night, do you? And there's some more mountains off to the left. We're definitely in mountain country. And it's a little cooler today, which is making the journey a little bit more amenable for me anyhow. Even though with my held riding equipment and all my zips open, there's more zips on this jacket than you find in a zip factory. Yesterday was a little bit warm, but today is decidedly cooler. Only by a couple of degrees, no doubt, but noticeable, which is lovely. I can even feel the air going into my armpits. Just thought I'd share that with you. And into another little village. Krishna Academy. On that sign there. From the old Hare Krishna. And it's from him that the sacred cow was, or should we say arrived, not produced but arrived. The buildings are just old, aren't they? They're just old. There's somebody trying to make a living selling tomatoes. There's a valley with a river in. Not many, you don't see many rivers at all. Going through a ravine? We're going through a ravine now, following a little bit of a river. Makes it look quite exciting, doesn't it, the ravine? I love ravines. Gives a totally different perspective. Look at the size of that mountain in front. Twice up there before breakfast, stand by. Go!
In the next little village we decided to pull over so that Santosh could get something to eat, we could have a drink, and I decided to explore the village.
Oh yeah, it's real in there.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Hello.
संग्रह देखे कि आपकी होगा
In Britain?
yeah, obviously,
Well, you know, it's here, it's just, isn't it?
At least it's fresh, not processed, not fed, not forced.
Well, a lot to be said for that. As we were talking before about, yeah.
So no, probably they'll finish up within a day at max. That's it. They'll butcher a goat and will finish in a day at max.
What I have noticed, I mentioned as I was riding along, there's not many flies, isn't it?
No, not many flies.
It's cool in here, so
Yeah. You'll get more flies when you have in the cities.
yeah. Oh, okay.
That's why you have the garbage lying around, and that's where they. But here you can hardly see any flies.
So, for instance, how much would a leg of that goat be?
Which one?
The leg of the goat.
Yeah, that is the leg of the goat.
Yeah. How much would it cost somebody to buy that here?
Here you can buy mutton at around from 350 to 400 rupees a kg. So that is what? 40 pounds? 30 pounds, 40 pounds a kg.
A kg? No. That's fortune. £30 for £2?
30 pounds is how much? 300 rupees, right? Isn't it?
10,000 is £100. 1,000 is £10.
Yeah, the 3 or 4 pounds, sorry.
300 is £3. Yeah, that'd be more right. Yeah, that's more right. Yeah.
3 to 4 pounds then.
Yeah.
Between 3 to 4 pounds a kg.
It is fresh, right?
Absolutely fresh.
When was that dispatched?
So he has got a head, see, he burned it. So what they do is, that is also eaten by someone. Take the head, they burn it, burn it on fire. Someone.
Poor goat. I know what's coming your way.
After having my eyes turned quite a lot by that poor little goat. Back on the bikes, and we continued our quest down to Uripa, which is where we're staying for the next 2 nights.
So that was the little town back there. Just had a little walk around, and within 50 metres there was 6 shops selling the same crisps, dangling them the same way, in the same format, in the same style. How do they all sell them? But then we went into the butcher's shop, and the goat had just been halal, and having learnt today that halal means that it gets its throat slit and it's allowed to drain for an hour before it is chopped up and sold, and that a kilogram of goat works out around about £3 or 300 to 400 rupees, which is say £3 to £4. And we're not that far now, and we're in another little village, all built up from the wells. Amazing, isn't it, really? The amount of little villages that there are. And there's the same crisp, look. Whoever's doing these crisps is doing a roaring trade, selling them to the shops. But the shops don't seem to be doing a roaring trade selling them on. So we're now on another tarmac road that's got more track than tarmac. Now coming into another little village, as you can see. This looks like a rough village, doesn't it? A very poor village, this one. Look at the state of the roads, for one. They're non-existent. But there are patches of tarmac, so there must have been some form of road at some time. But over time it's worn itself away and never been repaired again.
Eventually reached the edge of all the villages and arrived at the new highway that we were going to be taking, which was going to take us right down to our next accommodation. It was somewhat of a relief to get away from the rough roads, to get back onto some nice tarmac. But the accommodation we were going to is simply going to take your breath away. And eventually we arrived at the palace gates. Where we're staying used to be a palace. It fell into disrepair, but was brought back into being accommodation in the year 2000 And what we are about to see, I will say again. Well, I've never seen anything like this place in my life.
Look at the skyline there as we pull up to our accommodation. Look at that. And look at that where we're stopping. How about that for a bloody view? This is a converted palace that we're going to be stopping at. We're now just going to walk around to the front of the building. David Geur. Oh, Deviga. Deviga. Not Deviga, but Deviga. Ah. Are you ready to see the view? Are you ready? How about that for a hotel that you will be staying in if you come on this tour? Well, let me replace that. When you come on this tour. My God. This beats being in a tent in Ullswater, doesn't it? Look at that beauty. Woo! How about that for a greeting? No. This is the inside, the internal part of the hotel with a lovely figurine there with the water cascading down, look. But let me show you something special. We're going to go and have a look in the room. Now these rooms, if you were to come as a white man, the going rate is around about £280 per night. You get this when you come on the tour. Let me show you around. On entering, you can see it's totally made of marble. You've got your sitting area there. We go around to the right, and you've got a bath made out of marble. You've got complimentary dressing gowns, his and her sinks. You've got your toilet area where you've got the shower if you don't want to use your toilet paper. Going through, we go into the sleeping quarters. And watch this. Are you ready for this? Look at that. You even get your own pet elephant. And then you've got something that you wake up to. Just look at that view. I'm going to show you more of that view in a minute. Then you've got another sitting area, TV, complimentary nibbles with nacho crisps, crunch and cream biscuits, Oreos, Tic Tacs. more of a view. And let me take you back outside. We go round to the side there, there's the courtyard, look. What a fantastic looking courtyard. Then we come round this way. And we're going to go on to a bit of a veranda. Yeah, your own veranda. I'm going to hide this from you. You can't see it yet. You've got to wait. Let me just show you something to take your breath away. Are you ready? Look at the surroundings. I think the word that you'd like to use rhymes with clucking bell. Isn't that just spectacular? This was a palace. It was a ruin and constructed back into a hotel in the year 2000. There has been millions of pounds invested in this. And that's how high up we are, with the surrounding buildings for the people that they're living in. Let's go further round. And that's the view that you get from the other side. And the outside of the building as well. That ain't bad, is it? I mean, come on, that ain't bad. Surrounded by all of this, and you come to a pool like that. It doesn't get much better than this, does it? And that's what you get on this tour.
Day 7 was our day of rest, so we trolled our way down to Udipa, and this is what we found.
We're just walking up from the centre of Udipa. We're going to be going into this palace very shortly. But then, all of a sudden, as you go around the bend, you come across this. How stunning is that? Huh? Oh yeah. Yeah. The view from that must be spectacular. And we're talking about that palace right in the distance on the top of the hill. Hopefully the lens is picking it up. Or if not, oh, never mind. But on the hills in the distance, in a bit of the haze, there is a palace. And we're going to be the Monsoon Palace. And we're going to be going for a ride on a boat. And the Monsoon Palace that you can see on the top of the hill, that was used in the film Octopussy. This is part of the courtyard of the palace.
And what we're looking at here are display items from people who used to live in the palace. There were weapons, there were shields, there were rifles, there were daggers, there were swords. Huge array of products. This is actually a suit that they wore back in the days of the conflict and the wars. Chainmail. We used to wear chainmail, didn't we? Now, there's a story and a fable that goes along the lines of this is a famous horse. It saved the king, and that's what this story is all about. Then we came across Gandhi's glasses. Ben Kingsley wore these in the film Gandhi.
And this is from the top of the palace looking over the lake. And this is looking the other side of the lake, over Udipur. With the monsoon palace above, featured an octopussy, and the white buildings of the town below. And here we have the top terrace that, coming from underneath, just is so cool in more ways than one. And there's our chief photographer. I've caught him at last. Then when you've gone to the courtyard, the sea below, and this is Udipur in its finest.
White city of Udaipur.
Within the palace, we had rooms like this, decorated totally by mirrors. And there's me! Woohoo! And now we're going to see some fantastic layouts. Birds in different forms. Like a mosaic.
Then, of course, Parakram decided, being 20 years younger than me, he would take me on at arm wrestling. I told him I retired totally undefeated from the army many years ago and nobody's ever beaten me at arm wrestling. So here we go. He decided he would have a go.
That's it. That's as far as I can go.
Okay, but take care of your shoulders, huh, man? Yeah, okay.
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Surely went.
There's no way I can do it.
Huh?
You let me win.
Yeah. And here is a typical bazaar street, as in loads of little shops selling all sorts of stuff. You can even buy your own dagger. That might just become an issue through Heathrow, so we won't bother with that. And this is where we're going to have lunch, on a rooftop terrace overlooking the lake.
Now, having had lunch, we walked around a bit more, but at the end of the day...
And we're now in a tuk-tuk. Go! life into your own hands on a tuk-tuk. So here we are, having been in that amazing palace up there, converted in 2000 into a superb hotel. The bikes are lined up, ready for day 8 of motorbike adventures of India. And we're off on the next day of adventures. Da-da-da! It's good to get back on the bike. Gets a bit of breeze going through the jacket. Even at this time of the morning, it's 9 o'clock and it's up into the 20s. It's Roastvilles, which is tickety-boo. And as we leave the gate, let the adventures begin. There's a massive contrast where we were staying last night. Within spitting distance, there's this village that we've just been through where, you know, they're just getting by, and yet we've been treated to unbelievable luxury in the rooms and the food and the way that they've been serving us. Area of massive contrast. And now we're on the main highway. Heading towards our next destination. That's one of the things you've got to be careful of on the roads here. They've got multiple sleeping policemen placed across the road. And if you hit them at speed, you're either going to come off or at the very least damage your bike. And they're not exactly standing out. You've got to be really vigilant to see these things. One of the guys has been caught out this morning and hit it extremely hard. Luckily the bike's okay. All that there is marble, all different shades of marble. Look at it all. You could call it Marble City. Marble and granite. And we're still going past places that sell marble. That's what you call an awful lot of marble. Look at it all, marble and granite. Look at the size of that on the back of there. You can see the axle bending. Unbelievable, huge chunk of rock. And we're still going through marble. Mile after mile after mile. It's unique to Rajasthan, this region, with all the marble and the granite, which is why there's so much. Welcome to Motorbike Adventures of India. With 3 on the bike, they don't care. I love it. It's brilliant. Let's see how many are on this bike. There's 3 on that one as well. So we're stopping here for some chai at the Sri Balaji Palace. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And we've just been over quite a new looking flyover, which is very good, but this is one of the little places we've stopped at. And there's Santosh on the left and Prakram on the right. And me behind the camera. Woohoo! I'm back into a little village area now.
You can see the villages, they're the same as the ones we've been through before. Everything was based on finding water source, they then established, but I think this village will have been based on the fact that it's right next to the major highway. But off we went into the distance to get back into the desert, so that it wasn't just a boring ride. We wanted more adventures, we wanted more excitement. And one of the guys did get more excitement. And that excitement consisted of going through a couple of ravines where the tarmac disappeared and the talcum powder with rocks appeared. Because this isn't sand. This is too fine to be sand. And what had happened to one of the guys, in fact, he touched his front brake, the front wheel locked, and off he came. So I'm just being rather careful going through because I didn't want the same to happen to me. But this added a new dimension to the adventure. Having gone through the ravine, it all opened up again, but the road didn't get any better.
Oh, this is what you call back roads, isn't it, boys and girls? Oh, yes, Uncle Kev. This isn't you riding through Germany, Spain or France, is it? Yeah, look at hell. Stay in fabulous Rajasthan, in converted palaces and ride roads that have been produced to kill you.
Now we got very close towards the end of this adventure, or this stage of the adventure. We're coming into the village where our next accommodation was to be discovered. And where it was? Well, just wait and see.
No, he's a village and a half. Yeah, Baiga. Interesting village, isn't it? Very interesting. The amount of bikes. As we know, that's the main source of transport around here.
Now we're just turning off the main road through the village, down into what I would only describe as a bit of a side street. And this took me by surprise.
Very narrow streets, quite dominating, really.
Here I am thinking, where are we going? Surely we must be lost, because nobody would have anything where we could be sleeping in amongst all of this. Could they? And then through the archway we turned left, and wow. This is one of the things about this adventure tour. Where you stay is going to take you by surprise. The accommodation is fantastic. The adventure is fantastic.
Oh, happy days. When Jesus walked. And here we are at the next palace, boys and girls. It's quite amazing, isn't it, really, when you go through all of those villages and those back streets and those narrow alleys, and then you find something like this. Slap bang in the middle.
Now, having arrived at Nimaj Palace, the owner decided he would take us out to have a look around. And we went into a village. This village had 900 people. One tap for drinking water. And in this guy's backyard, who was a potter, this is what he did. No electric.
Exactly the same process.
Working from torches on the iPhones.
Exactly the same process.
And this is what he produced. It took me... Well, it just blew me away. That this guy, here he was. Just wait till you see what he does. Amazing.
So you put it on the wheel.
Nee.
Take a wheel pick.
डीजे थोड़ा हाथ ऊपर कर
नीचे बेरिंग है क्या?
नहीं सर कुछ नहीं अच्छा सोने पर वो लकड़ी पे घूम रहा है
लकड़ी पे?
हाँ सर
The spinning itself automatically will ship it like a... See? Wow. Beautiful enough. This is a video thing, man.
That's unbelievable. In the middle of India, in a village with 900 people,
wow,
no electricity, a self-propelled turning stone.
making pots exactly the same way as we do back in Britain. But he does seem to be a lot more skilled than people I've ever seen.
This is beautiful. Look at that.
And the wheel's tilting a little bit now, but he's able to go around and just follow it around.
Whoa! It's beautiful. Whoa!
And there we have it there. So that's where we were last night, staying in a very traditional Indian palace, and we're just about to set off and the car's leaving before us. There's the bikes all getting set up and ready for another day of motorbike adventures of India. All the little kids going to school, all in their uniforms. This is day 9. It's the last day of the tour. Even though there is another day after this as we go back to Delhi, this is the actual last day of the tour as we leave from Nimaj back to Jaipur.
So only 2 days to go. Coming towards the end of the adventure. Heading back now to Delhi.
On the way, we're going to be going to see some marble being cut, and the ride through Jaipur is going to take your breath away.
But first of all, we're going back to Jaipur, staying at the hotel we stayed at on the first night. So that's okay. All good things must come to an end. Oh no, they don't need to. They don't need to at all. See, the traffic hasn't improved then. Overtaking everything. Ah, there might be something coming the other way, that doesn't matter, I'll push them out of the way. Oh my god. Some things never change. And these are the bikes waiting to set off, having just filled up. They do look pretty cool, don't they? You have to admit. And there's mine. Hee. The size of that granite, that marble on the back of there. Look at the size of that lump.
Then all of a sudden, Santosh decided we would have a little short break. So in amongst the traffic, let's pull into the left. And then let's try driving towards the oncoming traffic. We'd seen this happen that often, it was just the norm. So it certainly didn't feel out of place. So, having had our break, and me having had a bag of crisps, it was continuing our quest on to Jaipur. Now, one of the things that I'd been requesting all the way around the tour was to stop off and to see some traditional crafts taking place. Having seen so much marble and granite, we chose to stop off at this region here to go to one of the factories and to see if we could find out how some of this marble is produced from those whacking grey white rocks that we'd seen on the backs of trucks to the marble that we can see on our floors, our worktops, even tiles. So we pulled into this factory and we asked the question, can we have a look around?
You're going to go and ask?
This will do not like the factory, bigger factories, cutting down the whole block into the...
Yeah. We've been given permission to walk around one of these marble outside showcase areas. We've seen on the trucks where huge chunks of white stuff, white rock, has been on the back of these, and this really is the end result. This region being somewhat famous for its marble and granite production, and hopefully what we're going to be seeing is some of that turned into some of this. And what we're going to be seeing now is the stone actually being cut. Look at the amount of water being used. Multiple blades making multiple sheets of it. Belt driven by a big engine there with a bigger wheel, and then you get the multiple blades cutting through the rock using copious amounts of water. And the process that you're looking at there with the multiple blades will take 4 to 5 hours for it to cut through that block. All belt driven. Look how basic the factory is. And that's what this area is famous for. Cutting those massive blocks outside into the sheets of marble that we use as worktop or tabletop, or even floors, baths, showers that we've experienced in some of the accommodation that we've stayed in. And that's what it ends up like. That's how thick it'll be, and how smooth it'll be as well. And there you've got the remnants of some of the grooves cut with the blades being used. And in addition to that, that's the waste water. And here we have some of the sheets that have already been cut. Now, not everything turns out right. That's life. So if you do get a breakage on some of the larger sheets, they come into the smaller machines here, so they can cut the best parts and still use them for flooring, for example. But then the scrap here can also be collected by people and made into a bit of a crazy paving floor. The water that we saw coming out from the cutting goes into those tanks there, and it's taken away for processing. So nothing, as far as they can achieve, is wasted within this process. You've then also got different colours. Look at the fabulous colours on that. Isn't that just gorgeous, that? And we've been in a bath, haven't we, boys and girls, made by this stuff? Now in Britain, there'd have to be block and tackle, scaffolding, hard hats, health and safety and everything to get that on the back of there. And it's just done as we would have done years ago. Just lift it up and put it on. Can you quickly ask him how many tons he puts through a year?
Here. Here.
A year?
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time.
Okay, how much in a month?
1200.
1,200 tons a month. So there we've just had a trip round the marble production factory. 1,200 tons of marble a month, just from that one outlet. $1,200 tons a month. And that was in Kishnagar, Marble City. 1,200 tons a month, just one outlet produces. One outlet. That's unbelievable.
Having had a wonderful adventure, we then started to come into the outskirts of Jaipur, and what you are about to see for the next 10 minutes is taking your life into your own hands and driving like they do over there. You've got two options. You either drive aggressively and live, or drive defensively and maybe not survive. But it was tremendous fun. Come on this tour and adventure just to experience this. You'll never think the traffic anywhere else in the world is bad ever again.
Total and utter madness. It's fucking madness! God damn, this has to come to an end soon, surely. Has to come to an end. So that was riding through the centre of Jaipur, ending in seeing a bus knock a couple of guys off their motor scooter, and the bus just driving off. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But then you've got the palace at the top there, look. The peace and tranquility of a palace after that total and utter mayhem of Jaipur. Whew. And there on the other side of Jaipur, you've got that fantastic view there, look. Isn't that just stunning?
We then, having got through Jaipur, having been 2,100 kilometres, we got off the beaten track, took the back roads to Libawa Fort, which was our accommodation. And I have to say, there were tears in my eyes.